Unfortunately, I have some bad news to share, and it looks like my car This is actually my first time having bucket seats in this car. Such a weird feeling. So anyways, the seats are not bolted on just yet. It's actually just sitting on top of the mop stand. So what we need to do now is actually determine the height of the seat. Because there is no height adjustability with these seats, unlike the original ones. So they have to get me to sit on it and have a feel, see if it's too high, too low, so that they can adjust the height. And once that's done, that's it. It's bolted on dead forever, in terms of the height at least. A few things to take note when you're buying bucket seats, because as it turns out, it's not as straightforward as removing the old seats and putting in the new seats. Quite a fair bit to consider actually. How wide the seats are, where the mounting points are, how wide the width of the mounting points, and then obviously the width of the seats. And as it turns out, these seats are just a little too wide for this interior. So there are a few problems now. The shoulder support you see here, it's actually touching the B-pillar already. So I can't recline too much and I can't move back and forth too much. So we need to find the right placement now, allow the seats to move back and forth enough, allow it to recline enough, and then that's when everything will be finalized, welded, and the seats will be bolted on. Turns out it's a lot more complicated than I expected. So yeah, fingers crossed they'll be able to figure this out and I'll get this car out soon. This is the steel bar that's going to be the base for the seats. It's about 5mm thick, maybe about an inch wide. This entire 6-meter piece of metal only cost me 20 ringgit from a hardware store slash wholesaler. So what they want me to do now is get inside, have a seat, have a feel of it, see if it's too high, too low, and then they will start adjusting the height. And once that is sorted out, they are going to fabricate the metal out of the metal piece that I bought earlier, and then it'll be welded on and we should be good to go. Oh, the seats are a bit too upright, so I'm gonna recline it a bit. Tinggi dia saya rasa boleh kurang 1 cm maximum.
Bawah belakang saja kasih turun dah.
Actually ya, ini kursi kan?
Ha?
Belakang kasih turun sikit macam ni.
Ya ya.
Okay.
Belakang sajalah kasih turun.
Ya. It looks like my car won't be having the new bucket seats after all. First things first, the seats are a little too wide. So this area here is kind of hitting the B-pillar. As you can see, we've already removed the B-pillar cover to try to adjust the fitment. That side, not sure if you can tell, the transmission tunnel actually curves outwards. So I can't move the seat forward too much because it's hitting this area here. So you can see it curves outwards, so you can't move forward too much. And then because the shoulder support here is a little too wide, I can't move it back too much. With the B-pillar cover on, it will restrict the movement of this. And this is even before we fit the seat belt buckle device, which is quite a big piece actually. So with the thing fitted on, there is barely any room. The seats will be pretty much squashed in and there won't be any movement for the seats at all. So I guess there are a few important lessons from this. First things first, measure the width of the seat, how wide it is. Secondly, make sure the mounting points are more or less aligned between the seat and the mounting points. And yeah, I guess just make sure you do a bit more research on the dimensions itself before you commit to buying a pair of lovely bucket seats, only to find out that you can't fit them in your car. Well, I guess the most I can show you is how the seats look like in the car, and I'm sorry to say that's pretty much it. Is this my car? That's my car. Yeah, really, this is my car. So this area here has received some minor work. They have adjusted the bumper a bit, and as you can see, the gap here is not as prominent as before. Before, it was so wide, there was literally about a centimeter of like gap between the bumper and this grille. And now, even this area here is aligned. Before it was all over the place. This was sticking out, this was a bit more forward, and now, wow, this is the main highlight of this video. Well, one of two, this being the first. Oh goodness, they've managed to match the color of the boot, positioned really nicely. Wow, I can't wait to get a wider shot of this. Look at this though. Do you even recognize this area here? Just a few weeks ago, the car looked awful. It was so heartbreaking to watch, you know, all the paint coming off, the cement coming off, even the metal coming off. And now, this area here has been completely redone with a sheet metal welded here. If you can remember, we cut out a hole here. We put in another sheet metal, we welded in, grinded it off, sanded it off, and then we put a bit of the putty on, the cement, primer, spray, and now it looks like brand new. Before, you could actually see like a wavy surface. Now it's just nice, smooth, and flat. Now it looks like nothing has ever happened to it. It looks almost brand new, this section here. Wow, I've not lost this line here, which is signature for the E36. Just look at that. Check that out. It looks 9.9 out of 10, if not 10 out of 10. My goodness, it has not looked like that, I think, I don't know, since it was brand new.